The camera opens on a wide shot of Manila at dawn. Jeepneys idle at a red light. Vendors arrange bread on wooden trays. The city hums softly, not loud yet, just waking up. A calm, reflective voice begins. He arrived with a passport full of stamps, a bank account most people will never see, and a life built on winning. To the world, he was a rich American visitor. To himself, he was exhausted. Cut to archival-style footage of an airport arrival. A man in his late 40s, neatly dressed, but intentionally simple, walks through the terminal. No entourage, no luxury car waiting. He had money, power, options, but none of them had fixed what was broken inside. He didn't come to the Philippines for business. He didn't come for investment. He didn't even come to relax. He came because he felt empty. The camera follows him through a modest hotel room. He opens his suitcase. Inside, plain shirts, a notebook, a worn photograph folded carefully. Voiceover continues. Back home, he ran companies that employed thousands. He negotiated deals worth millions over coffee breaks. People listened when he spoke. But at night, when the house was quiet, the silence felt unbearable. Doctors called it stress. Friends called it success. He called it loneliness. Cut to him walking alone through a busy street in Quezon City. People brush past him. No one recognizes him. No one cares who he is. And for the first time in years, that felt relieving. He decides to walk instead of taking a car. The heat presses down. Sweat forms on his forehead. He stops at a small roadside stall. A woman smiles and hands him a bottle of cold water before he even asks. He reaches for his wallet. She waves her hand. "Later na lang, sir. Init eh?" He freezes for a moment. It's not about the money. It's the tone. No fear. No expectation. Just care. He pays anyway, but something shifts inside him. Cut to the notebook. He writes, "I forgot what this feels like." The next day, he visits a coastal town. The sea stretches endlessly. Children play barefoot near fishing boats patched together with rope and paint. A boy runs up to him and asks where he's from. "America," he replies. The boy's eyes widen. "Wow!" Then he smiles and runs away, uninterested in anything else. No questions about money, no requests, just curiosity. He watches a fisherman repair a net. The man's hands are rough, scarred. He asks how long he's been fishing. "All my life," the fisherman laughs. "Enough. Enough." The word lingers. Enough for food. Enough for family. Enough for tomorrow. Back home, enough had never existed. Cut to night. He sits by the water. Waves crash gently. He checks his phone. Missed emails, notifications, stock alerts. He turns the phone off. The silence feels different here. Over the next days, he moves deeper into local life. Riding jeepneys, eating carinderia meals on plastic chairs, laughing with strangers over shared plates of food. One afternoon, rain pours suddenly. He takes shelter under a small roof with an elderly woman selling bananas. They don't speak the same language well, but they talk anyway. She tells him her husband passed years ago. She still comes out every day. "Why?" he asks. She smiles. "Para me silbi pa," so I can still be useful. That night, he doesn't sleep. He stares at the ceiling, replaying her words, useful. Back home, he had been important, powerful, respected, but useful. He realizes no one needed him anymore. They needed his money, his decisions, his signature, but not him. Days later, he visits a small rural school. Bare walls, cracked floors, kids sharing books. A teacher welcomes him warmly, not knowing who he is. The children sing for him, off-key, loud, full of joy. One girl trips while performing, scrapes her knee, then gets up and finishes anyway. Everyone claps. The man feels his throat tighten. He turns away from the camera. He wipes his eyes. Later, he sits with the teacher. "We don't have much," she says, "but we try." Try. Another word that hits harder than expected. Back in his world, trying was never enough. Only winning mattered. Here, effort was celebrated. That night, he breaks. The camera doesn't rush. It stays still. He sits alone on a bench, shoulders shaking. Tears fall freely. For the first time in decades, he lets himself cry without hiding. He cries for missed birthdays. He cries for relationships replaced by meetings. He cries for a life spent chasing more without asking why. A local man sits beside him silently, doesn't ask questions, doesn't offer advice, just sits. After a long while, the man speaks softly. "Okay ka lang?" He nods. "Good," the man says. "Andito lang ako." "I'm here." That simple sentence undoes him again. In America, help came with conditions, contracts, expectations. Here, presence was enough. As his trip nears its end, he visits the places one last time. The stall, the school, the shore. People wave, smile, call him Sir, not because he's rich, but because he's familiar. At the airport, he opens his notebook one final time. "I came here thinking I had everything. I'm leaving knowing I was missing the most important parts." He boards the plane quieter than when he arrived, but heavier in the best way. The final voiceover begins as the plane lifts off. He didn't discover poverty. He didn't discover charity. He didn't discover hardship. He discovered connection. He discovered humility. He discovered that wealth without meaning is just noise. And sometimes it takes traveling halfway across the world to finally come home to yourself. The screen fades to black. Soft Filipino music plays. No slogans, no lessons spelled out. Just one truth lingering in the silence. What he found in the Philippines didn't shock him because it was dramatic. It shocked him because it was real.